Welcome. Wow. Okay. So that happened. Oh, wow. People, I'm waiting right now. So I got my phone right here, waiting for any note that maybe the Office of Player Safety decided to make a middle-of-the-night decision about Naz. Let's talk about this. Okay, we lost the game 5-1. Did we lose the game? Well, on the score sheet, you lose the game no matter how you lose the game if you don't get as many points as them. That's not a problem. Officiating, well, I never liked the officiating. What can I say? But in terms of what Naz did, I see people defending him as not having to do anything because he was helping Mitch. You guys know I love Mitch. But the fact is that even as I feel about Mitch, that he's my son and my sacred duty from heaven or killer or something like that, he's my sacred duty, and I still knew Naz was too pissed off to do that. You can't just decide. And it was Steve Dangle. Man, you were so good, Dangle, and I'm sorry. I'm tagging you on Twitter with this one and telling exactly what I told you. You were like perfect. I disagree a little bit about the goaltender interference, but hey, neither here nor there. The fact is, you're absolutely right. Naz gets this red mist, and he's spoken of it, and he just goes berserk, and he went berserk. Yes, he happened to come into a situation where he might have been looked like he was helping Mitch, they threw a horrible elbow. Second man in, not supposed to be hurting him, okay? All illegal. But if Naz doesn't take that opportunity to defend his wounded pride from the previous penalty, commit a charge, which I'm sorry, there's no way I can take the fact out of it that he charged the guy. Took more than 2 strides, wasn't his play with the puck, charge. He got a major penalty. A suspension is absurd. Maybe he was targeting his head, but he didn't hit it. And people say, well, he left his feet. Yeah, he left his feet and hit what? The boards. His lower leg hit a bit of the guy's back. But let's be honest, if Wingles had not looked up, seen Naz, and decided to play the puck anyway, he wouldn't have even had any kind of head bang and injury. I mean, this is really getting silly at that point. Then people say, but the defenseless Wingles who came in with a flying elbow, ducked basically to avoid a hit, and now he's made himself helpless and he's defenseless. No, none of these things happen, people. It wasn't blind. It wasn't primary impact to the head. He did not launch into anything except the boards. So you can perhaps caution him that you should try harder, not to hurt yourself when you're so pissed off you don't think your team's important, because that's what happened. Naz got a 5-minute penalty because he was a hothead, and then he got the game misconduct. Why did he get the game misconduct? Because he was a hothead. I've covered this before. Once you do shit, doesn't matter. Later you might not do it, but they're still going to see it. So, now let's talk about the sterling reputation of Drew Doughty. God, I can't stand this guy. And if you're still watching, Steve, I know you think he'd be a wonderful Maple Leaf. For the very reason I'm about to talk about, he would be the worst kind of Toronto Maple Leaf. We play an honest game. No, we're not as rough as other people. And some people may not understand this style of hockey. It takes some time. It takes some study. The other analysts seem to be uniformly wrong on everything, but they all agree, oh, Drew, it was an accident. He also came all the way across the ice. He not only passed Carrier, but as he passed Carrier, he touched his arm and part of his shoulder and then decided to go up into his head. Did he launch himself into his head? He didn't need to. Pretty big guy anyway. Cut the guy's face wide open, put him in a situation where, had he wanted to, had Doughty come into his core as the league Office of Player Safety demands that he have done in that situation, I dare say Carrier might have been pissed enough to drop the gloves. But Drew don't drop the gloves, because when he does, he gets his head beat in. Now, I don't love fighting. What I hate is doing something that I can, I always use these genderific terms, It's not about gender. It's about the fact that in anthropology, females handle things different than males. This is in the crib. This isn't at the workplace, okay? And a male should give a chance to a competing person to have another competition. Females who work alone, set up homes, have to get their stuff, have to make sure everything's cool. Okay, this is in nature. Again, we're talking about nature. They tend to try to eliminate the competition so that they don't have to get into a conflict. I'm not embarrassed that I have some male characteristics, some female characteristics. I am a female. I have always been a female. And unless my parents are lying, I was born a female. Actually, I think I've seen pictures. So I was a female the whole time. But I try to handle things in a way, when I'm in the male-dominated areas, I try to do them the way the men do them, okay? They've been very successful. They built a big, fat civilization. Who are we to come along now and say, but, you guys and your rules. And so when Drew Doughty does something, it really gets on my nerves when he does something like this. He's big, strong, and talented enough to play this game fair. He cheated. And as far as the hockey analysts, they all speak out of each other's minds. They were teammates, most of them. Teammates of somebody, not necessarily of each other, but they see all their hockey selves there and they go, hey, I'm not going to conflict with him. I'm not going to disagree with him. They should actually criticize each other's clothes, but they don't. Their hairdos, holy Jesus. And then we have the problem of Don Cherry. And I love this guy. How can you be sitting there and watch me and not know that Don Cherry is everything to me? He is who inspired me. He's the one who let me believe that hockey was about passion and understanding. But a long time ago, Don Cherry started hating what we called at that time Swedish hockey, Russian hockey. This hockey isn't real hockey. Well, he said it for 30 years, and he woke up one day and discovered the Toronto Maple Leafs are playing that style of hockey. Why? Because they beat us with that hockey. It doesn't matter how lovely and beautiful our game is. We can't go around losing. So we learned how to play it. Now we'll talk about the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights play better than we do. I'm not sure why. Their game against Drew Doughty and the Los Angeles Kings was a masterpiece. They should have scored way more, but that's Jonathan Quick. I don't know if you've met him. He's in the goal there. They played so good. There was almost no time Los Angeles could do a damn thing. So I don't really know. We're going to talk about grapes probably all summer because for me, if I can teach grapes, then we're getting somewhere. And I believe he would respect me because I'm going to get right in his face and say, I'm sorry, you are not correct. I know a lot of people back off from that. Then I argue that maybe that's why you have hockey heroes, because they're the only ones you know who do that. I don't have any time for captain talk, but let me tell you what. The guy who makes some of the best, hype videos, the pump-up videos that you see, that's TMLMontages, okay, in HD. TMLMontages HD. Maybe I'll try to put a graphic up, but damn it, I have to remember. Now, Moe does this. He is lovely. I know him from Twitter. And I would say you got to check this crap out. Check out the videos by TMLMontages HD by Moe. I'm telling you. They're so good. They get you ready for the game. Okay? Now, I got to wrap up here, and I'm going to try to make these more timely during the playoffs because I think it's important. But in the aftermath of what I think is an important game, we learned a lot. We learned that the way our lines are made up, we can't right now play Boston with giving us the same advantage we would have ordinarily. We're going to have to put tougher people on the top line, and I'd say on Mitch and Marlowe to replace Kadri. Now, I don't know if he will be out, but I would have to say his discipline will make me put him on another line. And have Hyman there, who's more able to go and dig and defend Mitch, basically, without getting into emotional problems, okay? And I'm not saying Naz has an emotional problem. I'm saying he's more like me than he is like Austin Matthews in temperament. he gets mad and he just keeps raving. Okay, I'm trying not to do that. You don't know how important this is to me. All right, let's get to the quotes. This is for the playoffs. It's from The Merchant of Venice. And this quote is, "I will not jump with common spirits and rank me with the barbarous multitudes." What this means, because Shakespearean language, everybody gets flipped out. They think it means, I will not jump with common spirits. And I will not, no. The and is and be classified in this case. Because rank me and rank me means and put me with, not what it means now. So it means I'm not going to get in there with all the, people who think, everybody else is right. And so all they have to do is agree. You can count me among barbarous. You want to call me barbarous? Okay, that's good for this week. The barbarous, many people who are out there. And we just have to find who we are and all get together and demand they start reporting this sport and study as much as a damn housewife in Kego Harbor. And believe me, I'm not that good a housewife. So if they can't know as much about hockey, yes, my life is in hockey. Yes, I've worked in it, broadcast it, wrote about it, did a novel. But the fact is, they played hockey. Their lives are being paid a lot of money. I don't blame the bloggers. They got to get clicks. I blame these guys who get good money to dress in silly suits that cost you a whole lot of money. Notice, fearless leader always wears Armani. I'm not kidding. I mean, that shoe's like $20,000, but he deserves it, especially when you all see how good we really are. See, because when you're bold, mighty forces come to your aid. You might have heard this in Almost Famous. I want everybody to think about that. Be bold. Mighty forces will come to your aid. All right, that's it for today. We have to play game 2. I'll probably get one out on Sunday. Please like. Please subscribe. Nobody's subscribing. It's really bumming me out. And, let's just get some questions going here, could we? Hey, Mo. Hey, Steve Dangle. Hi, Alyssa. Good luck with those Penguins. And again, Cindy scored a hat trick because he kept pressing. Don Cherry says he's trying to piss the team off. He's not trying to piss the team off. Cindy only knows one speed in the playoffs. Win, win, and bloody well win. Okay, I'll be back, you guys. Whether you subscribe or not, I'll be back, so why not? Don't resist. All right, I promise.